This is one of the world's most dangerous borders, dividing two nations, India and Pakistan. 2,000 miles long, it slices through extraordinary landscapes and divides millions of people who once lived alongside each other. I'm Bhapita and I'm a journalist. My family, as Hindus, were forced to move into what became independent India.
Primarily identify with being British. That's who I am. I was born and brought up in Britain. But I'm also really passionate about my culture as an Indian person.
I'm going to be travelling the border from the Indian side.
Wow, it's mind-blowing.
I'm Adnan. I was in the British Army and now work for The Economist. My Muslim parents were born in what is now Pakistan. I've got to know what it means to be a Pakistani and what it means to these people here living as Pakistanis, what it means to my mum and dad to be Pakistanis. I'm going to be travelling the length of the border on the Pakistani side, a country that's just 70 years old. Have you ever seen water like this? Look at the colour of it. When Britain gave India its independence, it split the nation along religious lines, carving out a new Muslim state.
Since then, there has been frequent conflict along this border that to this day, very few can cross.
You can't know Pakistan unless you know partition.
They're just saying we want independence. Go India, go Pakistan, we just want to be free.
Yet, after 2 generations apart, these two countries with such strong ties to Britain still have so much in common and so much to celebrate.
It's fantastic. We're going to have a great night here tonight.
Oh my gosh, I have just found a whole new family I didn't even know existed.
We're making 2 journeys with the same goal, to discover how a line on the map has altered the destinies of 2 countries that used to be one.
I'm headed for the mighty Punjab, a state that was split between India and Pakistan at partition. It's one of huge importance to both countries and to me.
For me now, the journey's getting very personal. I'm heading into Punjab, which is where my family are from. My mum was born in Punjab, my father was, my grandfather's died here. And I'm just worried about whether or not I'm going to feel a connection to this place. And you know that this is Punjab. We're going into Punjab. Look at it. It's green. It's lush. I'm coming home.
I'll be travelling almost 200 miles north to Chandigarh, independent India's city of the future. Then through Amritsar, the spiritual centre for the Sikh community. I'll end my journey in the north of Punjab at Dera Baba Nanak, right on the Pakistan border.
This country, Rajasthan, shoe wearing shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Yes.
कितना है shoe polish करने के लिए?
20.
20 rupees?
Yes.
That's about 10p. आप कितने साल इसमें ट्रेन में काम कर रहे हो?
40.
40?
फिर राजस्थान तो अपना है ही।
आप कभी गए पाकिस्तान?
No.
नहीं।
वैसे मामा नाना रहते हैं वहाँ पे।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।
गोरे गोरे रंग मुंडे करते मलांगी उत्तों नजरा दे मारी ऐसे तीर ने ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਜਾਗੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਚੌਧਰੀ ਕਹਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਰਾਂਝੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਕਰਤੇ ਫਕੀਰ ਨੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਅੱਖ ਕਾਸ਼ਣੀ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ
That is what you call a Punjabi greeting.
I've also crossed into Punjab, but on the Pakistani side of the border. Like Bhapita and thousands of Brits, I have roots here that stretch all the way back to my family home, which for me is in Burnley. This is it. We just hit the end of Sindh and the start of the Punjab. Welcome to the Punjab. How far are we from India?
About 30 miles from the Indian border.
About 30 miles that way. And then my hometown is in Punjab.
So we are heading north.
I'm going to be travelling with my local producer and fellow Punjabi, Khalid. Our journey will take us along the border with India, visiting the city of Lahore, and then on via Jessar to Karian, my parents' hometown, a total of 500 miles. When India was divided, Pakistan got the lion's share of Punjab. 80% of it lies on this side of the border, and it's home to over 100 million Pakistanis, half the country's population. Its agricultural riches are legendary. Fed by 5 rivers, Punjab's farmland produces 20 million tonnes of wheat every year. But there's a new chapter beginning here. Pakistanis are starting to harvest another of their natural resources, one that shows no signs of running out. Sunshine. This is the Quaid-e-Azam Solar Park, all 10 square miles of it. And it makes a hell of a statement about where Punjab is heading. Nearly half of Pakistani households don't have mains electricity. And for those that do, the supply is unreliable. I remember often being plunged into the dark when I visited as a kid. Now, the light should stay on in 100,000 homes and businesses just as long as the sun shines. Engineer Jahan Seb has been here from the beginning. So there was nothing here 3 years ago?
Yeah, there was nothing. This was just a piece of wasteland. Just like if you came here on the way you saw, just huge sand dunes, maybe some nomads herding their camels or maybe goats. That's it.
This is just one part of a huge collaboration between Pakistan and China, worth £46 billion of investment. The forward-thinking Jahan Seb welcomes this with open arms. So what language do you speak to the Chinese in?
At times we had some Chinese translators who could speak Urdu and who could speak English as well. But when you see a Chinese, you get a look, okay, he's a foreigner, but he does things just like you do. He thinks like you, and after some time you feel like, no, we are the same. In future, maybe 5 to 10 years, we might have some mix here. Some Chinese culture we are having or some Pakistani culture they are having.
It's not all this innocent, of course. China's aims are strategic. And Pakistan? Well, it needs the money. It's that melting pot so the Chinese are absolutely influencing Pakistan and Pakistan is absolutely influencing the Chinese. Yes. You're swapping biryanis and tea and language.
Thoughts as well and not technology.
And talking of food, it's midday, time to eat. And there's further evidence of the Chinese influence here.
We are just going to start our lunch. Would you please to join us?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Kaka.
Kaka?
Yes.
Kaka, is that Chinese?
It's Pakistani.
Kaka means baby in Punjabi.
I like this name.
Okay. These guys all work together, but some things just don't mix. Food in the works canteen. So the chef caters for both Pakistani and Chinese food.
Take your
I'm not very good with chopsticks. If you can show me, I'll do it. Yeah. I think I've got it. Oh, look.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. After lunch, Jahan Seb takes me to a place that's special to him. The tree that was his shady office when his plans first came to fruition. Bye.
My good old friend.
He's only 25, but he's already changing people's lives. On the way here, I saw solar panels on local homes. I'm imagining that the locals just call in to the centre and ask for advice.
Yes, nearly every day. But what should I do? What appliances should I connect? Is it safe?
That's really, really good, isn't it? You built this as a pilot project. The knowledge seeped out into the local area, and now everybody's getting solar panels.
That's it.
And so the energy crisis or whatever it is, the energy problem you've got is starting to solve itself.
Yeah.
Because it's harder for you to do it for 200 million people if they start doing it themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Skilled people like Jahan Seb now have more reason not to go abroad to work.
I know it's a bit difficult to stay in Pakistan, but I think we have a more scope here. We can go to West to do something like, okay, but I think our place is here in Pakistan.
I believe it. I believe you're going to change Pakistan.
Yes.
Pakistan's unlikely to forge an economic relationship with India anytime soon, so they have to make friends elsewhere. But with China holding the real power in this special relationship, I wonder if Pakistan is playing with fire.
"300 miles across the border from Adnan, I've arrived on the Indian side of Punjab."
We finally got here. We are in Punjab, and it feels so good to be here. Praneet. Bhapita.
Later I meet my local guide Beneath, who's going to give me a tour of this strikingly different city.
Good to finally see you.
Feels good to be in Punjab.
And here you go with your bad attitude.
Oh, is this my one?
Bad attitude? That says badass.
You know me already, right?
You're Punjabi.
Right, exactly.
Cycling in London can be chaotic, but here, on these tree-lined boulevards, it's pure joy.
Because the buildings are incredible.
Yeah, so Chandigarh was just designed like that. It was one of the first planned cities of India, and it had a team of European architects who worked here with Indian architects and tried to blend modern architecture with traditional materials. So you'll have really interesting designs because that's what they were experimenting with at that time. This is all modernist.
It's beautiful, that is. Stunning.
When partition split Punjab, its capital Lahore fell on the Pakistani side. So, India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, decided to create a new capital, a city like no other.
In my head, Punjab's always been about farms and haystacks and tractors. And then, boom, you've got this, which is modern architecture at its most brilliant.
In 1951, Nehru invited the architect Le Corbusier, the father of modernism, to design and build a symbolic city of the future. Nehru's vision was for an ordered and disciplined city with modern Western ideals at its heart. It was designed for 500,000 people. Twice as many live here now, among them many of the wealthy civil servants and their families. It has a touch of the Milton Keynes about it, complete with a sculpture which can be seen as either a welcoming hand or a dove of peace. Both work for me.
While Bhapita is still exploring the capital of Indian Punjab, I'm on my way to the capital of Pakistani Punjab, Lahore. I've never been on a Pakistani train before. I've seen them in the films, I've seen them on telly, I've never been on one before. I'm really excited to get on this. Oh, whoa. The railways came to India in the mid-19th century and are one of the more useful legacies of the British Raj. They were nationalised at partition and now carry 65 million passengers every year in Pakistan. It's a 4-hour journey, so I've plenty of time to meet a few of my fellow travellers. मेरा नाम Adnan Sarwar. Adnan Sarwar.
You're on a preaching trip.
So they're preaching to the people. Oh, अच्छा 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 बड़ा अच्छा है.
ये दावत है ना मुसलमान भाइयों के साथ.
हाँ जी हाँ जी.
सारे मुसलमान कैसे यानी नमाज वाले बन जाएं.
तो तुसी कितने साल कर दे रहे हो
ये 7 महीने.
7 महीने कर दे रहे हो.
7 months.
अच्छा.
हाँ पूरे पाकिस्तान.
पूरे पाकिस्तान.
आप तो इंशाल्लाह नमाज पढ़ते हो ना.
ठीक है.
नमाज पढ़ते हो.
हाँ जी पर मैं मेरे को टोपी कौन सी टोपी है एक और. अच्छा अच्छा. चलो. ठीक है. चलो.
मुबारक.
चलो. और नमाज वक्त हो गए. तो चलिए. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. शुक्रिया शुक्रिया.
इतना बड़ा स्टॉप नहीं है. इधर 2 मिनट का स्टॉप है. हमारा 2 रकात नमाज की.
I have to admire the fact that these guys are happy to risk being left behind rather than miss their prayers. The next train to Lahore isn't for 24 hours. We're off.
Keep rolling.
Oh. Chalo. I'm not a strict Muslim, but meeting these guys has made me think about what it is to be one. Right now, Muslims are in this very special place in the media where they're just picked on. Muslims are picked on, you can't deny that. And they're picked on with things like, you know, the travel ban and stuff like that. I am who I am. I'm not embarrassed about being Pakistani. I'm certainly not embarrassed about my parents. I'm not embarrassed where I come from, because that is who I am. This is what I look like. This is the language I speak. This is where my parents are from. And I have to find out whether I can love Pakistan, and I have to let it be part of me as well. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, and we finally made it to the beating heart of Punjab. We're in Lahore. Look, Lahore. Platform 4. Platform 4 there. Assalamu alaikum, Cheek. I am completely unknown in Pakistan, but suddenly arriving with a film crew, I've become a minor celebrity. Mr. May, this is Rui, and this is Khalid here. Well, what's this? Hello.
Who's this?
I don't know. Just get a picture, it's fine. Station manager, yeah. Look, the station manager here. AKSTE Lahore.
Special ticket examiner.
Special ticket examiner. Rana. Adnan. It's the next morning, and I want to explore a city I've visited only once before. Even though it's unfamiliar, I keep getting reminded of my home in Burnley. Oh, guys. We used to have one of these in the living room, and then my dad used to smoke it all the time, and it stank the living room out, so my mum banned it. Get out! Get out! These ones, yeah. Oi, oi, oi! Oi, oi, oi! These hookah pipes were filled with rough tobacco. It looks like rope. I can remember the sound as my dad broke it up, cracking and twisting it. The smell of it reminds me of him, though he'd hate it if I started smoking. Once the capital of the Mughal Empire, it's now the home of the Pakistani literary scene, a vibrant film industry, and some of the country's top universities. Before partition, a third of the residents were Hindu and Sikh. Now, this city of 7 million is 94% Muslim, which tells its own story. Partition is the reality of this country. It's the way this country was born. It's in these people. You can't know Pakistan unless you know partition. I'm on my way to meet people who experienced it firsthand. Husband and wife Mohammed Yusuf and Iqbal Bibi, whose experiences are typical of many here. As Muslims, they had to leave their homes in eastern Punjab. Mohammed was already a young man, but Iqbal Bibi was just 13. It took them 70 days to walk 100 miles to safety. मेरा नाम अदनान है।
उसे कोल आए, सुलह कर गए। ना तुसी सानू कुछ कहो, ना असीं तुहानू कुछ कहांगे। रात नूं हमला कर दित्ता। लुत्तियां पियां ते बसेरे मार बड़ बुरे हाल होए, सारे मंडा वालों नठ गए। फिर जेड़े हिंदू जेड़े यार दोस्त भी थे ना, वो भी दुश्मन बन गए थे। मैं तुहानू दस्सां, अब मरे भी ज़्यादा होए। जद देखना ना ते चार चफेरे मुसलमानों के पिंडां नूं अग्गां लगियां होंदियां
ते उत्थों उठे सानू असला देती सिखा दी कि भाई अज तैयारी कर लियो, अपना समान बांध लो, जिन्ना कुछ लिजा सकता लिजाओ, बाकी सब छड़ जाओ। जिसने टुट्टी वालदा मेरी बीमार थी, मैं चुक ली, उन्हें उत्ते पाया बरसाती, पा के उन्हें उत्ते पा लिया, चल पे। मैं करीबन 8-9 मील मैं अपनी वालदा बारिश के चुक के लेके आया। बराव आके डेरा लाए उतो मेरी बात आफत हो
फिर इधर की दुनिया उधर जा रही उधर की इधर आ रही है बड़ियां तकलीफां नाल आए पर अल्लाह ने साढ़े पर रहमत की बच गए
Hearing Iqbal Bibi and Mohammed's story makes me realise that my grandparents were spared simply by chance, because they already lived in what became Pakistani Punjab. It's estimated that up to 2 million Muslims, Sikhs and Hindus died, and over 14 million people were forced to move during partition. You should know it. You should know the history of people to understand where they are now. Maybe if you don't understand the way Pakistanis and Indians are, why they're always angry with each other, why they're always arguing with each other, just go back a little bit, you know, and have a look at partition. It's the complete desperation of it, you know.
I'm 150 miles from Adnan in Lahore, still in Chandigarh, the lovely ordered city of the future. But the future is now the present, and for many, it's not the utopia that was promised. I'm meeting Sarwan, Punjab's answer to a kind of Banksy. For the last 10 years, he's been creating political art in the city.
So tell me what Sarwanism is. Hashtag Sarwanism.
My name is Sarwan, and Sarwanism is my way of living, like Hinduism, Buddhism. So it's my own personal thing, the way of my life.
Sarwan's work challenges what he sees as a worrying rise in Indian nationalism. He's a passionate activist calling for social change.
Wherever there is a suppression, there will be art like this. Graffiti was normally done by those people who want to scream out loud.
What do Punjabis want to scream out then?
A lot of things. We all are guinea pigs, you know. We are trained to behave in a certain way. And there are some tools used by politicians, governments to control us. For example, we have created that villain, which is so-called Pakistan or Islam. So we have created the villain so that people will believe in governments, in army, and we feel we are patriots, we are nationalists, and we feel that, okay, we are from India or we are from this country, that country. But that's been designed so that the business of politics and war keep on happening.
We are Punjabis.
We are Punjabis, you know, feel proud we are Punjabis. But that's the root cause of war.
For me, there's something ironic that even in a city designed for the future, India cannot escape its past.
So, are we done?
Yes, we are done. So, this middle figure represents the politicians or the people in power, and this poor guy is the common man. This is the guy who chooses them, and this is the guy who is holding the burden of their weight.
Sarwan's highly critical take on India's powerful elite challenges the status quo. The fact that he can throw down such a provocative gauntlet to the powerful and in such a public way has to be a good thing.
If Bhapita is meeting the Indian Banksy, then I'm greeting Pakistan's answer to Bono. Long-time rebel rock star Salman Ahmed.
So I started off with a band called Vital Signs.
Vital Signs? Yeah.
So we had a hit called Dil Dil Pakistan.
Dil Dil Pakistan.
Have you heard it?
Of course I've heard it. I'll tell you right now, every Pakistani in Burnley knew that song. For almost every Pakistani, the song, which means My Heart is Pakistan, became a sort of alternative national anthem. We're surrounded by kids here, and what's the Pakistan that they've got?
70% of Pakistan is under the age of 20.
70% of Pakistan is under the age of 20.
So more than 100 million people are under the age of 20. It's a huge, huge youth pulse, a potential, which can either go towards creativity and positivity, or if it gets frustrated, it can go south, you know? But they don't trust the leadership. They know the leadership is corrupt to the core.
In 1996, Salman and his band Junoon challenged Pakistan's political corruption head-on. So what was the song Accountability? Who was it aimed at?
At this corrupt status quo, because the ruling elite has plundered this country. So it's a huge anthem which is played at political rallies, and basic message is the answer to every question is accountability. And it was banned. They banned us indefinitely, but in 1999, ironically, there was a military coup.
Yes.
And it turned out that General Musharraf was a huge fan. His kids were huge fans.
Sorted.
You're not banned.
A dictator freed you.
Yes.
Musharraf is just one of the 13 leaders in Pakistan who have been forced out of office before completing a full term. In July 2017, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif resigned over claims of corruption whilst protesting his innocence. It was his third resignation.
It's not just Adnan who has his finger on the musical pulse on our parallel journeys along the border.
Salman. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Artist Salman has invited me to experience Chandigarh's nightlife.
Okay, it's a surprise. That sounds interesting.
And if anyone knows how to party, it's us Punjabis.
How are you doing?
You're here.
You're looking
Cool.
very cool. Look at you.
This is hip-hop Indian style. 10 years ago, Navdeep and her Simran formed Crew 172, and they've built a solid fan base throughout India and beyond. Unlike some gangster rap, Crew 172 aren't interested in glorifying drugs and violence. They think that hip-hop can offer young people a different, more positive message.
Yes, if you feel me,
Yes, that was wicked.
Thank you so much.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
The anti-drug message isn't just a gimmick. It's a message they live their life by and encourage their fans to do the same.
So, like, we are the only two guys in the whole family tree that are, like, clean. Totally clean. No
You don't
drinking,
drink?
no smoking. No smoking. No other drugs. So we wanted to tell everybody that, you know, you can still be super cool when you're clean.
The boys have got a really strong message that they're trying to get across through their music, through hip-hop, which has always been associated with drugs and alcohol and getting high. They're trying to say that you don't have to do that here in Punjab, particularly for young Punjabis. And nobody in there at the gig was drinking, and we all had a wicked night.
I want y'all to make some noise for Chandigarh.
I was aware there was a drug problem here, but I didn't know how widespread the issue was. A lot of heroin from Afghanistan makes its way through the poorest border in Pakistan and then into Punjab. The state has an estimated 4 million addicts. And what I want to work out is why so many people in Punjab take drugs and what it is that's being done to tackle the problem. I've been told, to my surprise, that the fastest growing group of addicts are women. Dr. Bhapita opened this wing at the clinic in 2016.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Bhapita.
Hello, Bhapita.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Let me
This is
see.
an incredible building.
Yeah, this was created about 8-10 years back, and now it's the only female rehab center.
And is this a fairly new thing?
There is a latest thing that what men can do, women can do. The working women who are earning and the girlfriends who are trying to be showing that they are independent, has brought about a new revolution of people who are into drugs, and most of them are women. And they are trying to show that they are modern. If you can drink, I can drink with you. If you can take heroin, I can also take heroin with you. Trying to show that you have an identity. Come with me. This is the
There's little help available for people struggling with addiction. But for a small number, this clinic can offer hope.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
What were you addicted to?
I was addicted to weed, hash, and brown sugar, and heroin.
And how often were you taking the heroin?
Sometimes 10 to 12 lines per day. I was so much addicted to drugs on that time that I left going to the college also.
तो
फिर वन पकड़ी गई एक दिन पापा ने पकड़ लिया. They were really shocked that I was into drugs. It is a big problem in Punjab right now.
So it's not difficult to get heroin?
Not at all. By staying here, I got so much positivity. It's all about our life lessons, that how we should manage our life without drugs.
This help is only available privately. And it's said that the stigma of having a female relative with a drug addiction means that families often refuse to get the women the help that they need.
Well, there's a woman over there, she's probably about my mum's age, and she's just been admitted. It's her first day here, and she's with her family at the moment. But she's here because she's addicted to prescription drugs. And not that you can ever tell what an addict looks like, but this is a traditional Punjabi woman wearing a suit. She's got a serious problem. That's not the India I was expecting to see. It's not the Punjab that I thought I would discover.
Pakistan shares many of India's problems, but whilst India has the 7th largest economy in the world, Pakistan ranks only 39th. With almost 60% of the population illiterate and 40% living below the poverty line, it's hard to know how the situation can get better anytime soon. But I'm going to meet some people who might be able to make a difference. Industrialist Sharia and his wife Mavish have invited me to an exclusive party at their luxury home to meet some of the financial movers and shakers of Lahore. So what did you do? What did you do?
Well, we run the largest transport network in Pakistan, passenger and cargo.
I run like multiple offices. I have offices in LA, China, Bangkok, Australia, the UK.
For the past 20 years, Pakistan has suffered from an increasing number of people going to work abroad, now an estimated 6 million. If things are going to improve here, there has to be a reason for people to stay. Pakistan's got a bad press in Britain, definitely, you know, and it's got a fairly bad press around the world. How do you feel about Pakistan? Are you optimistic about Pakistan?
Of course. Yeah, I'm optimistic. If somebody who visited Pakistan 10 years ago and somebody who has visited Pakistan now, like you, and you see all around you, you will not recognize anything. I mean, our infrastructure is better, our electricity situation is better, our public transport is better.
Much better.
We have
We never
metro
had
trains,
that.
we have public transportation systems, our telecommunication is better, the schooling system is better, our security systems are better. So, I mean, we are moving in the right direction.
The change I've seen, it's just phenomenal. It's unbelievable.
Like what?
In like lifestyle, the people, they're so much fashionable. They're exposed to so many, different things in life, and then it's getting better.
As an entrepreneur, I think it's a gold mine. I think if anyone missed out on India, then they need to invest in Pakistan today. We're 10 years behind, but we're going to be big.
The young entrepreneurs I've met tonight have got the vision and belief to drive the economy forward. They make no apology about being here to make big money. They could be working anywhere in the world making a fortune, but they choose to remain in Pakistan, and that's got to be good.
It's time to leave Chandigarh behind and head off in search of my family and the house my mum grew up in. going to go and visit the family home, which is still within the family, so we'll get to see, I'm hoping, the room that she was born in. My mum hasn't been back there for over 20 odd years. I've never been there, my sisters have never been there, but we've always heard about this place. My uncle has told me to head to the small village called Bunga.
Bunga?
Bunga, Bunga.
Bunga? उसे ऐ कमा यही रोड फड़ के ना
Bunga, सीधा आओ. सीधा रोड नवा शहर है ना?
Sidha, yeah.
Thank you.
That's hilarious because he just said, it's straight ahead, and that's exactly what my uncle said to me in England when I asked him, how am I going to, when I get to Bunga, Mum's village, how am I going to find out where the family home is? And he said, Otte jake otte hai. So you just go there and then you kind of find it. Nice to see a corner shop, because we, Mum and Dad, family of corner shops. So that's quite reassuring. I feel a little bit at home seeing that. A few streets away, we finally find Mum's old house, where some of my family still live.
I'm going to cry.
Can I say hello? Oh, they're doing a ceremony. This is for blessing, because it's the first time I'm coming to cross the threshold. You look so different! These are my cousins, and the last time I saw them was about 20 years ago. Yeah. I didn't even recognize you. This is my mum's sister. Kaise ho?
बढ़िया
Nana ji hai? Nana ji. Dr. Sadhu Ram Prasha, that's my mum's father there. And I did meet him last time I was in India 20 odd years ago. This is the room my mum was born in.
Yes. The interior was that time same. Yes.
Same.
No changes are there.
Aap kyun nahi decoration kiya? I'm like, why have you not decorated for 70 years? My family say the house is still the way it was when Mum was here. Walking into the house and seeing everyone, their faces and the love and the big hugs was just a priceless moment. It feels so strange, but it also feels quite comforting. Actually feels quite, just feels right to be here.
Gangra makes very nice curry.
This is my favourite dish. This is one that I grew up on that Mum always used to make for us on a Sunday for the family lunch.
And it's traditional Punjabi cuisine, curry, not curry that we know. It's basically gram flour mixed in with yogurt and coriander seeds and onions, turmeric, cumin seeds, stirred very carefully for hours and hours and hours. Add a pinch of love to it and you get the most incredible Indian food. I could just keep eating it, the whole bowl.
I'm spending another night in Punjab's capital. I want to find out more about a branch of Islam that has its enemies here. I'm particularly interested because it's a form of religion that my eldest brother follows. I'm in Lahore, it's Thursday night, and I've heard about these Sufi gatherings that happen. Usually they are massive, massive events, but there's been some attacks on them, so they've got some private events. I've been invited to one tonight, and I can just hear it over there. We need to get in there and see what it's about. Let's go and join them. Sufism is rejected by conservative Muslims, but it's existed alongside Islam for over 1,000 years, and it's steeped in the soul of Pakistani culture. Thursday is the start of the weekend, and the place to be at is a Damal, a Sufi kind of rave, but here they sing praise to Allah.
This song, every Pakistani knows this song. Every Pakistani knows this song. It's incredible. I used to listen to this with my mum when I was little, and the next time I heard it really was here in Pakistan. Everybody knows the words to it. You need to learn them.
By entering a trance-like state, Sufis believe that it's possible to get closer to God. Ultra-conservative Muslims like the Taliban and so-called Islamic State have labelled them as heretics. They've carried out a number of attacks on Sufi shrines, most recently murdering 88 worshippers and injuring hundreds in February 2017. Bhapita is the internationally known star of the show. He's a drummer and a Sufi mystic. He's a sort of Ringo Starr crossed with a Maharishi. मुसलमान हैं ते जेह्ड़े ने मेरे सारे भरा सुन्नी मुस्लिम ने ते जेह्ड़ा मेरा बड़ा भरा है वो हून सूफी बन गया है
सूफी दा श्रेण है प्यार दा भावें दुबई चला जा भावें यूरोप चला जा भावें लंदन चला जा उत्थे भी सूफी फिरन दे सिर्फ अख नहीं आया पछाणन वाली सही
गल जेह्ड़े ने मैं सुनेआ अटैक होए सूफियां नूं
ਜਦੋਂ ਮੌਤ ਆਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆ ਹੀ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ ਲੈਣ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਉਹ ਮੌਤ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੂਫੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਤੇ ਮੌਤ ਹੋਈ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਪੀਰਾਂ ਫਕੀਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੜੇ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਲੋਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਮੌਤ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਲਾ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਘਰ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ
He's not one, isn't he? He is not one. Papa Saeed looks intimidating, but his message was about peace and acceptance and spreading that. Sufis have been attacked, but they're carrying on, and there was a crowd out there who, even though they've been attacked, that community has been attacked, they still turn out on Thursday night. Pakistan was created to protect a religious minority, so it's sad now that the Sufis are facing discrimination. The violence isn't going to tell them to go away, the violence isn't going to stop them, they're going to carry on. Really like that about them, really like that about them. And they're just, they're brave. They're living bravely in dangerous times.
Miles from Adnan, I'm following the border north to Amritsar, the heart of Punjab's Sikh community. Nationally, they are the minority, like the Sufis of Pakistan, but in India, Punjab, they are the largest religious group. I want to find out more about Sikhism, and where better to start than their most spiritual site, the Golden Temple.
I feel like I dressed appropriately. Everyone's wearing orange.
The temple complex has over 5 million visitors every year.
So I think we're going to go in. It's so beautiful. It's so calm.
Work on the complex began at the end of the 16th century with this pool, Amrit Sarovar, which gave the city its name. It translates rather beautifully as the pool of the nectar of immortality. The temple was deliberately built at a lower level than the surrounding land to show equality and humility, while the doors on all four sides are a sign that everyone is welcome, whatever their social class.
Everywhere you go around the Golden Temple, you see this, which are plaques commemorating the people that have served their country. Surjit Singh, God Singh, Darshan Singh, Sampuran Singh, Chanan Singh, Ajit Singh, Hari Singh.
At partition, Sikhs were a minority in Punjab. When the state was divided, some wanted their own homeland called Khalistan, but that was ignored. A separatist movement emerged, which the government tried to repress. A violent siege at this temple in 1984 ultimately led to Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's assassination by her Sikh bodyguards. 3,000 Sikhs were killed in the terrible reprisals that swiftly followed. Today, I've got the rare chance to meet a Sikh separatist leader branded a terrorist by the authorities. Wasan Singh Zaffarwal still believes in the original dream of an independent Punjab called Khalistan. There's already been a border created that caused so much heartache and problems, the India-Pakistan border. If Khalistan became a reality, there would be another border. Haven't Punjabis seen enough of this borders and separation and fighting?
देखो ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਵੀ ਖਤਮ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਕੱਲਿਆਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਲੋਕ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਰਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਹਨਾ ਉਧਰੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਵਧੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਵੇ ਆਉਣ ਜਾਣ ਹਨਾ ਇਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਟੂਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲਕੀਰਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ
The Sikh community are not alone in believing that they were treated unfairly by partition. But the separatists' dream of an independent Sikh Punjab seems a very long way from becoming a reality.
So map's getting wrecked. Yeah, it's getting wrecked. Today it's time for me to leave the city. I'm heading closer towards the Indian border to Jessar, where Bhapita's father was born. And I've got a promise to keep. She can't get across the border, but we're this side of the border, so we're going to go there, just try and find out if people remember her family, take some pictures, get some memories of her while we're here. And that's my family home, Currion. We're not far from each other, are we? That's crazy, isn't it? Bhapita's dad was only 5 when he and his family decided to leave Jessar. It was a year before partition, but the writing was on the wall. They foresaw the violence and the bloodshed, so they left and moved east to Delhi. His childhood memories are very sketchy, so finding the family house is going to be tricky. This is a Hindu temple, you know, this is definitely not a mosque.
ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਮੁਹੱਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲਾਈਨ 4-5 ਮਕਾਨ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਛੱਤ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਓ ਗॉड
As part of the minority community of Hindus in Jessar, it's likely that Bhapita's family lived in this area. They would have lived alongside their Muslim neighbours. This is the right street then?
This is the right street. Look at this house. That's a small brick. That's a Hindu architecture.
Yeah. We can't be sure that this was Bhapita's house, but we can't be sure that it wasn't Bhapita's house.
But it was in Bhapita's neighborhood.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
all those Hindu houses.
Yeah. Let me get this. She wanted something from the house. She said, "Can you get me some sand from around the house?" And her dad wanted some as well. I mean, this is where her family's from, and this is the dirt and the dust of history.
Adnan.
Bhapita.
Hello.
Bhapita, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm on the street in Jessar, where your family lived.
Are you on the street now?
I'm in one of the houses.
Whose house?
I don't know. It might be your house.
And also, the guy here reached past the new bricks and reached inside the old bricks.
And pulled out some of the dirt and some of the sand. So we've got you some of that.
Thank you so
much. You don't know how happy that's made me. Bye. It's, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I could just cross the border and go over there. It feels very special, and I know it's going to mean so much to my dad that he's been able to do that.
Mission accomplished for Bhapita. I'm now going to head 100 miles north to Koryang, where my own mum's waiting for me. We're on the road to Koryang now, which is my home village. This is where I'm from, and my mum's in town, which is great, so I'm going to go and see her. My mum comes quite regularly, and I think this is going to be great. Just to see my mum in Pakistan, in her home village, and me coming back to Pakistan, having understood it a lot more than I did previously. This garrison town with a population of 80,000 is less than 40 miles from the Indian border. I was last here over 10 years ago, and I'm not so sure that I can find our house. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I'm not being helped by the fact that there's just been a power cut. It's reached my house. Those Chinese solar panels have clearly not reached my mum's hometown. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. 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 So, this used to be where my grandma lived. So my grandma used to live in here, and I used to look at the stairs there. I used to go to the top because it was cooler, and I used to go right to the top on the roof, and she used to lay on the munji, and I used to just like massage her. And is that right at the top there? And then, oh, Mamu? Yeah. The first person I meet is my uncle, who's home from Germany. There's a picture of me when I was a little boy, and I'm like, I'll show you the picture right now. I'm like this. Oh my! My mum has flown in from Burnley, specially to welcome me home. She's a typical Asian mum. She has to be there for her son. I know she loves me. मैं पाकिस्तान तक ना पे हूँ मैं ऐसे कि मनु पाकिस्तान पता नहीं ना
13 साल हो गए तुम
I've got to own up. I've avoided coming here in the past, thinking that this country isn't a part of who I am. ना पर पाकिस्तान दी जरी country है मनु नहीं पती पर लेकिन ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਲਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਜਾਏ ਵਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ
ਬੱਚੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਾਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ
ਤੇ ਚੋਖੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ
ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ
ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਨੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ
ਜਾ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ
ਹਾਂ
ਕੋਈ ਤੁਰਕੀ ਟੁਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਮਰਾਕੋ ਟੁਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਬਸ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ
ਕਿਉਂ
ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਉਮਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ
40 ਸਾਲ ਨਾ
ਕਰਨਾ 40 ਹੋਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੁਣ 40 ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ
40 हो गया
ना 39 होने लगा 39 एक साल रह गया कोई ना कोई मिली अच्छा
कोई नहीं मिली
ना मैं तो पहले दसदा
कोई नहीं मिली जी कोई नहीं मिली शादी वास्ते नहीं शादी तो कर ले कोई है सानू
पाकिस्तान दा ते मैं कदे पहला सोचा भी नहीं ते पर मैंने तो बड़ी खुशी हुई है पाकिस्तान आके
हेलो हां चलो शुक्र है खुशी
शुक्र है
खुशी तो हुई है ना
ते मैंने चंगा लगे बड़ा चंगा लगे 2/3 of the way through my trip, despite the familiar problems of religious intolerance and political corruption that I found, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. This is a Pakistan that doesn't match the perception the West has of the country. And I've been as guilty of believing the image that is portrayed. I'm beginning to enjoy letting the Pakistani in me take over. It's a dilemma many British Pakistanis will be familiar with as we wrestle with who we are and where we belong.
I'm on the final leg of my journey through Punjab, and for the first time, I'm going to be able to stand at the Indian border and at least look into Pakistan, even if I can't cross over. It's the closest I'll get to my dad's homeland.
This is Dera Baba Nanak, which is one of the most holiest sites for the Sikh community, because it's where the first Guru Nanak Dev Ji spent a lot of his time, but across the border that we're about to see is where he spent his last days, in Kartarpur Sahib. And actually there's a board here that says that, which at a distance of 4.5 kilometres in Pakistan has a historic and remarkable religious importance. There's a lot of border security forces here, but I think if we can get to that viewing point, we're going to be able to see Pakistan.
And this remains a dangerous border. Only last year, after a series of cross-border clashes in Kashmir, 50 miles north, 27 people died. All villages within 10 kilometres of the border were temporarily evacuated, including Dera Baba Nanak.
So it says that photography is prohibited in this area, but loads of people have got their iPhones out, so...
He said we can't go up there and take pictures, but he said that we can shoot this way, but we can't show the Pakistan side.
My first glimpse of Pakistan from the India border. But I think this is the closest that either of us have been. And we're about half a mile away from Pakistan. So I reckon if we could walk it from here, we'd probably get there within 15, 20 minutes.
I'm in touching distance of where my dad was born, which is now in Pakistan. It's incredibly frustrating not to be able to just step across, but that's the reality of 21st century India and Pakistan. People who share the same culture, the same history, speak the same language are still divided. And it feels to me that it's governments and not really the people who want to keep it that way. Next time. Heading north, we're on the final leg of our journeys.
You could well lose your life on this pass.
Gaining rare access to the Pakistani Air Force.
We are going to fight them back with all that we have.
And experiencing life on one of the world's most dangerous borders.
As one nation forges new friendships, this relationship that the Chinese have got with the Pakistanis, it feels like something's happening.
The other is locked in a bitter internal conflict.
They're just saying we just want to be free.
The future is unpredictable for both these countries.
Would you like to find out more about why India was partitioned into two states? Delve deeper into the history and the psychology with our academic experts at bbc.co.uk/dangerous borders and follow the links to the Open University.
Catch the final part next Monday at 9 here on BBC Two. And the season continues tomorrow night with an investigation into the reasons behind partition. The Forgotten Story is at 9. While over on the Radio 4 website, Salman Rushdie's novel about love, history and magic, Midnight's Children, is available now.